Welcome to part 10 of Don't Say Schwarzenegger, my story about surviving an attempted unaliving and the corruption and cover up that ensued. And my story involves a lot of A-list celebrities, politicians, and their offspring. So today I'm going to be covering just the final witness of the criminal trial. We're finally there, we're getting close. And the final witness was an LAPD officer who was at the scene of the crime, after everything happened, taking witness statements, initial witness statements from all of the witnesses and the victims. So very important. So this officer's name is Officer Ron Bone. He gets on the stand and he immediately starts talking about what TMZ paparazzi Robert Suraci had told him that night. This is very important because this whole story changes drastically after the criminal trial ends, and then we head into the civil trial a few years later. It's like a whole different scenario. So, the LAPD officer says that Robert Suraci told him that night that he was standing out there with the cameras, him and his coworker, Jacob Castellan, the guy I tried to save, that they were filming that, the Drizzes start trying to berate the valet guy, and so they step in, and he witnessed Sean Drizz assault Jacob Castellan. Then he says that he himself, Suraci, was then assaulted by 5 to 6 of men that were all the friends there of Sean Drizz. He said he was assaulted so badly and savagely that he lost consciousness. He was unconscious. So it's interesting because all this happened, and after the criminal trial, there was no lawsuits or anything from Robert Suraci to the Drizzes, no lawsuits, and even like Jacob Castellan even tried to say that we were unethical for suing. Like our injuries weren't that big of a deal. So they're trying to downplay everything. And also he said in this civil trial down the road that Suraci wasn't even present, wasn't a victim, wasn't a witness, nothing. He just happened to be driving by after everything happened that night and then got out of the car to like help his friend go to the hospital, whatever. So Suraci's in some trouble because this is serious stuff. So he also says that Suraci told the officer, Officer Bone, he also said that Suraci told him that he witnessed the men move from him over to another victim on the ground. So there's another witness that's taken away. He's not there for civil anymore. He's disappeared. So now one of my star witnesses to my attempted unaliving has suddenly disappeared into the atmosphere because he wasn't even there. He wasn't even injured. So that's interesting. So then Robert Shapiro starts asking Officer Bone about those very important notes that he took that night because we need those for the criminal trial. Guess what? He asks him where everything was, but he couldn't answer the question directly. He couldn't come up with the report and the notes that he took from Castellan's statement, Suraci's statement, or mine. He actually said, and I quote, "The notes are lost." So at that point, this is so sketchy. So the amazing judge, Judge Michael E. Pastor, he interjects because he's not an idiot. He's so on it, which is probably why he was immediately removed before sentencing with no explanation. So the judge says, he interrupts and he says, where is it? He said, "Did you destroy the notes?" Like point blank. And the officer was like, so the judge says again, "Did you destroy the notes?" He says he doesn't know where the notes are, but I still have them. So he doesn't know where they are. He also admitted that he never handed those over to the DA. He refused. The LAPD refused to hand these notes over to the DA, over to anyone to be used for the criminal trial. They have them, they just don't know where they are, and that's where they left it at. Another funny part I thought so at one point Robert Shapiro asked the officer if Anne Green had said that she walked out of the nice guy bar. Because remember, they're trying to say this fence was 100 feet tall and there's no way little old me could have done it and I must have made it up. And Officer Bone says, "Yeah, I believe she stated that she jumped over the fence." And the whole trial, they kept saying, "Anne didn't tell any officers that she jumped a fence. Nobody said that." And he's like, "No, she said that." So they had little hiccups here and there. So that is about it. I think we can kind of move on over to the closing statements and all of the charges and all that stuff. Officer Bone also said that he left nothing out, even though he's just committing to memory for this trial a year later. He left nothing out. He totally forgot to mention the whole phone call on speakerphone with Sergeant Yearwood, and him telling us about the brothel and the Schmex workers and stuff that were a part of the special night for the Drizzt twins that night for their birthdays, and that's sweet. So that was it. Oh my God, this is my shortest one. Yay, under 10 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to do part 11 today. I'm going to make sure I do it. I'll get it posted. Thank you so much to everybody for sticking around. I know it's a lot of information. I know it's a lot of times, dates, places, all that. But you guys have been amazing, and there's a lot happening in the background now. I'm starting to feel supported. I'm starting to feel believed and heard, and that maybe there's a chance there'll be justice for me. So, and everyone else that's affected by this, because it's a social issue. All right, everyone. Thank you so much.